Welcome to the Naked Relationship Podcast. I'm Adam.
And I'm Kelley.
And we are coming to you live from our favorite place in Las Vegas.
My grandparents' house.
Yes. And so...
Yeah, we're doing this on the road.
Yeah.
So please excuse the poor quality.
Of the audio.
Yes. So it's going to sound pretty rough.
We're not using our normal microphones. We are using a cheap...
They don't
USB
care about
travel
that.
Microphone.
Yeah, they don't really care about that.
Regardless.
Okay, this is what our throwback to our beginnings when we would use our phones. This is like an upgrade from the phone.
A little bit. Okay, so what are we... First off, big shout out to altplayground.net.
Did you know you can find your favorite podcasters, clubs, and event hosts communities on Alt Playground? You can chat with other lifestylers and see what you guys are interested in, get updates on events occurring, and of course, you can see some really risque, cute, sexy pictures as well.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's altplayground.net, and then a word from Manscaped. So this next partner that we're going to talk about is one that you've probably heard of, probably seen before, but one that you might not have taken the opportunity to purchase. That is Manscaped. So have you ever had an awkward sex moment where you couldn't find the tree because it was hidden in the bushes? Thankfully, Manscaped has come to the rescue. For those of you who don't really like a messy bush or even a bush at all, Manscaped has something for you. And it is something that we've started to use. We enjoy it, but it's not just a pube trimmer, right? It's a lot more than that, because when you buy what they call the perfect package, you get so much more. You get toner, you get a travel bag, you get a lot of different stuff for your manscaping needs. So as someone who is bisexual, I don't always enjoy pubes. You know, if they're messy or just over the top, it can be a bit distracting, but it is something that not everybody enjoys. And for those of you who don't, this is the perfect product for your partner. And that is the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. And that's why its revolutionary company, Manscaped, has redesigned the electric trimmer and called it the Lawnmower 3.0, which has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology. So this trimmer reduces cuts on your nuts, right? So how many of you have used an electric trimmer on your nuts before and you get a little clip or a little nick in your nuts and it starts bleeding? Scares the shit out of me, to be honest with you, but this helps reduce all of that, so you don't have to worry about it. And one thing that we are excited to offer is a 20% discount plus free shipping with the code NAKED at manscaped.com. Penis owners, your balls will thank you. So don't forget, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code NAKED at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code NAKED. Thank you, Manscaped, for making our sex lives better. All right, guys. So today we are going to talk about what exactly? We're going to be talking about, I had a play date, and we're going to be talking about your sugar daddy stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Adam doesn't know shit.
I really don't. I'm also working while on vacation, so my mind is everywhere.
All right, guys. Let's start this out with Adam, because he never gets a platform first.
It's such an honor to be chosen to go first today.
Go first.
Okay. So our swinger group has recently had a new couple join, and Kelley and I were both just immediately attracted to them. And so I didn't message either one of them right away. I kind of waited until we were in the middle of a conversation in the main group chat on Kik to reach out for just some clarification. And so I sent her a message, and then we just started talking. We hit it off really well. And she lives 2 hours away, so meeting up was not really an option. However, we did have a party plan with the group that ended up turning into just a dinner with plans to go to the bar. And so this lady came down without her husband, and she came with a friend, and they got a hotel room. So we all met at the restaurant where we were getting food, and then we just kind of hit it off well. We didn't initially get to sit together because I was sitting next to the organizer, and we were just shooting the bull. And then I was her and I were texting, the whole time. So it was kind of like funny that we were like so far away from each other or so close to each other, but still like texting. So eventually like I made my way over there to sit because initially there wasn't any room for me to sit. And so then we, after like dinner and everything, everyone was kind of waiting around and everything. And I asked her if she wanted to ride with me over to the local bar, the swinger bar that we go to. Ooh. And she said yes. And she was really kind of wanting to go. And so when we got out of the restaurant, I asked her if she'd want to go there or if she'd want to go do other things. And she was like...
Look at you trying to flirt.
That's flirting?
Yeah, that's kind of flirting.
Oh, well, I have no fucking clue. Anyway, so then she says, let's go do other things. And so we get in your car because I'm driving your car.
I forgot. Yeah. You were taking my car. Did you do things in my car? No. Okay.
I already told you. Because it was your car and I didn't know how you felt about it, so I wasn't going to try. I told you this in person. Okay, so and then so we get to the hotel that she booked and we start like making out
in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and then eventually like she just kind of gets like on top of me. And I start, like, I take her shirt off, I take her bra off, I just start undressing her.
One hand?
Fuck no. It was one of those where I had, like, 5 clasps, so I was like, I'm not fucking with that right now. And so, from there, it just kind of turned into her sitting on my face, which was amazing. And then, I told her to turn around so we could 69, essentially. And so, we did that for a good couple of minutes, and she, like, didn't just, like, below me. Like, she was also, like, riding my face at the same time.
Sorry, guys. We're recording at my grandparents' house. Yeah, gotta make sure they don't hear.
Anyway, so that was a lot of fun. And then that transitioned into the need for protection. And so we quickly got that established and just started going to town, mostly from behind at first. And then I put her on her side a little bit and went to town that way. And then another way that we went to town was...
Did you go to town? Did you not stay there?
No, we didn't. And then she got on top of me for a little bit and rode me, which felt amazing. And then her friend walked in with me just like laying there holding my stuff pretty hard. And I was like, do I say hi to this person? Do I not? But... it was all cool at the end, but I don't know. It was really, overall, it was an enjoyable experience, which I would go into way more detail if we were recording at our place. But it was a lot of fun, and this particular individual would like to keep things going and would like to make it a consistent play partner type of scenario. So I think that's awesome, and we've already kind of worked it out and like talked it out and cleared everything with our spouses, and so I think that it's pretty fun. And I think what I enjoyed most about her is that from a looks point of view, like she really, like her body was like very similar to yours. And so I think that's why it was so much of a turn on for me, was because it was like you, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And from the sounds of it, she did too.
The sounds of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her friend, like when she walked in, I later found this out, but she said that this girl that I was playing with looked like she was dying because she was so tired. Because we went for like 2 hours, and she said like after so long and stuff, like she got like super dry from it. I don't know.
You didn't bring lube?
Oh, we did. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she had some.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I really enjoyed it. Might have to like retell the story next week or something. I don't know. But if you want to hear more dirtier details, let me know.
All right, guys. While Adam was over here having a play date with our swinger group, I had to go pick up and get my sister who's staying with us and babysitting. But before I left, I did have an adventure with a local sugar daddy. So we have been talking for about a month, and just because our schedules weren't aligning that well, because I work night shift and he is just living that retirement life, enjoying spending time with his children, his grandchildren, and just doing things around his house. He recently moved to the area to be closer with his children, and is in the process of like moving in new furniture and just making his new house look like a home. So yeah, he had a lot of things going on, but finally, we made a plan to get together. And previously, before this, I did chat with him on the phone just to kind of put him at ease, like making sure I'm a real person. And I was also doing the same thing, making sure he was a real person. And he sounded super sweet and super nice. He is from, I think he said he lived in Louisiana for a few years. And you can tell he had a New Louisiana accent. And it was so cute. I loved it. So, made a plan to meet at a local restaurant, and I did not take into account how far away this restaurant was, so I was about 30 minutes late, and he was okay with it. He was at the bar. The minute I walked in, I knew it was him because he was like looking at the door, just staring it down. And I went over, I greeted myself. I was like, hey, it's me, Kelley. How are you? Ordered a drink. We sat and chatted for a little bit, and then we moved and got a table. We got an appetizer. We were just like munching on it as we were like discussing each other's lives and how we came to be in this situation. And he was aware that Adam is aware of everything. Like we are completely transparent with everything, and he was super excited about that. Like, he just wanted to make sure he didn't want to cross any boundaries between me and my husband.
Which I think is awesome.
Yes, he sounded super sweet and super great. And I totally felt like completely comfortable with him. I didn't get any weird, creepy vibes from him. He was a perfect gentleman. So when the time came, I asked him, like, would you like be okay to continue this further? And he was like, absolutely. But I do have something to tell you regarding my sexuality. Not sexuality, but like some sexual hindrances, because he was in a car crash in the early 2000s and it affected his back and everything down. So because of this car crash, he had some really bad nerve damage from his spine, from like his chest down, and he had a very difficult time getting an erection. And this has progressed throughout the years and kind of gotten worse. Like,
and how he gets one freaks me the fuck out.
Okay, so when he first got his car crash, he was taking Viagra and it worked great. But then his body started getting accustomed to it and it didn't work anymore. So he told me he takes this medication called Trimex, I think it's what it's called. And I looked it up later. It's really cool. But he has to inject this medication into his penis with a needle. And that just like completely like blew my mind. Like, I was totally okay with this because I feel like because of my background being a nurse, like I was so happy that someone was like eager to like tell me about it and explain it, and I was completely comfortable and fine with it. And I think it just helped us bond a little bit more because of that experience. But yeah, I told him I was okay with it. I had no issues or problems. So I followed him back to his house, which I texted Adam to let him know I was going there, but I forgot to get the address. So I told him I would get the address once I got there. And I have gotten Adam into listening to these crime podcasts, and he was freaking the fuck out because I apparently drove to like a nearby lake, according to the map where he was stalking me. Yeah,
like it looked like there behind this guy's house was a big lake.
And there is a big lake because he lives on the lake.
Yeah, and so like the fact that you didn't text me the address and stuff, I was like, oh, are you really okay? That lake looks like a good place to dump a body.
But we get there. He shows me around the house. He shows me all these different rooms. He gets me a drink. And then we start, like, laying down in the bed. Because I could tell, like, he was starting to hurt from, like, walking so much. So he needed to lay down, and he suggested laying on the bed. I was like, okay. And then I asked if I could take my clothes off. and lay in the bed. He's like, yeah, absolutely. So I stripped down to my bras and panties, and I was laying down, and then he proceeded to, like, kiss every inch of my body, and it felt amazing. And at that point, like, while he was kissing me, Adam was, like, blowing up my phone. I was like, oh, fuck. I'm trying to, like, politely decline this guy's advances, but while still trying to make sure Adam knew where I was and wasn't freaking out as much. So this guy gets me to come, and as I come, I'm like, ugh. I wish Adam wasn't blowing up my phone right now. But as soon as I did, I quickly Snapchatted him to make sure to, like, tell him I was okay. I sent him the address. I sent him another snap of me, like, giving him a thumbs up, saying I was okay, I was safe. And Adam was okay with that. And then we proceeded to have very sensual sex. There was a lot of, like, touching and, like, grinding and him just going down on me. And then when we were finally able to get ready for the penetrative sex, he went to go grab his syringe of medication. I went down on him for a little bit to get it, like, hard enough, and then he injected himself with this needle full of medicine in his penis. That just blows my mind. And about 5 minutes later, he was erect, but it wasn't as big as I'm used to. Like, it was a little bit on the smaller side, and I had no quarrels with it or anything. I was perfectly fine with that. But when he attempted to have penetrative sex with me, the condom kept coming off. Like, it just felt like he was just brushing the opening of my vagina barely. And it was like that for about 15 minutes. Not my favorite, but I really enjoyed the experience with him. I had a great time. I would definitely love to see him again, and maybe we can work on getting the penetrative part right, because I really enjoy his company. So yeah, that was my little escapade.
You've got one more to mention.
Okay, so...
After you got back from picking up your sisters?
Yes, after I got back from picking up my sisters, I was, like, super horny. Like, I was supposed to meet this guy where my sisters live, like, before I picked them up, just to have a little quickie, but, like, I was too exhausted. Traffic was crazy. I just spent 6 hours of driving, so I didn't do that. But when I came back from picking up my sisters, after driving a total of 12 hours that day, this guy on my Twitter messaged me saying that, hey, I would love to meet up with you. And I was like, let's do it. This was at 3 a.m. So this guy comes to our apartment. I get in my car, and I tell him to meet me in my car, where my car is parked right in front of our apartment so Adam can see, hopefully.
Yeah, I was watching from the window in our bedroom.
Yes, he was watching from the window, and I was still within Adam's sight, and I wanted to make sure I was safe. And he comes in the car, and, like, he tells me he hasn't had sex in over a year. And I'm, like, mind blown. Who doesn't fuck in a year? So I immediately, like, started giving this guy a blowjob. And he's thanking me while I'm doing this. And he immediately comes in my mouth, and I swallow every last drop. And he is, like, mind blown. So thankful, so relieved, and he definitely enjoyed it. And then me and Adam went to bed.
No.
What?
We made love after.
We made love.
Yeah, and then, like, you wanted to keep going, and I thought I could, but, like, you know how, like, sometimes after you come, like, when you're too sensitive, where, like, you don't even want, like, that area to be looked at? That's how I was after I came. And he just wanted to keep going, and I'm like, no, don't touch it. And he just kept trying, and eventually you're like, fuck this, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
I just feel like we're both in a super hypersexual state right now.
We really are, which is why our break episode gets postponed for another episode.
Yes. So we will hopefully go into a little bit more detail in our next episode about our escapades, but right now we're at our grandparents' house, and they're, like, right next door, so I'm trying not to be, like, super loud. But we will discuss in more detail, and we will discuss about our little change and break.
Yeah, and so with that being said, Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TNR Podcasts. That's plural. Please also send Kelley a message on Instagram. And also, don't forget to use discount code NAKED at manscaped.com to get 20% off your order, as well as free shipping. And also, find us on altplayground.net. You can find our podcast on there. You can find new sexy playmates and all of that fun stuff. So, any advice for the people here, babe?
Have lots of fun. Have lots of sex.
And Vegas is hot as fuck.
Oh, God.
Finally, something that's hotter than you.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Adios.
Bye.